Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark. I'm your host, Michael Carabio, and today I'm excited to be joined with Landmark's very own VP of National Commercial Services, Stephanie Fulgeson. Um, Stephanie brings over 20 years of experience developing and scaling businesses with nearly a decade focused in commercial real estate. She also hosts the Wisdom and Wealth podcast, which is really cool. I got to listen to an episode, by the way. A
Good.
great job there. And where she sits down with entrepreneurs to unpack how they think about growth, leadership, and long-term success.
Mhm.
She's going to be sharing a little bit today on her perspective on commercial and the economic expansion happening here in Phoenix and what is just shaping opportunity across our real estate. So please welcome Stephanie.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael. Happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that you're here. And I'm so excited just to be a part of everything that you got going on over here at Landmark. So, Stephanie, let's go ahead and just unpack uh, and get started with our very robust commercial division. I work mostly on the residential side, but that's exactly why I wanted to have you on here today. You're a big part of that. From your point of view, what's one key trend or like shift in the commercial real estate that you think real estate professionals should be aware of?
Oh, I love the idea of a shift because frankly, we've been it's been hard, right? Real estate's been hard for the last couple of years. And the one sentiment I would say coming into this new year is the optimism has returned. We keep talking about, extend and pretend, kicking the can, watching this maturing debt just kind of linger out there. And, interest rates, construction costs, all the things that make projects hard, delayed, or canceled. And I think for a long time, so many of us were thinking one thing was going to happen and then the gates would open. And I think last year was the year of us realizing that one thing isn't going to happen to change this. We have to just get creative and figure out new ways to do this. This is the new normal, right? And there's no sitting back in your rocking chair just waiting for that interest rate to fall or construction prices to magically reduce by 20%, right? We just came to terms with it.
Right.
But
No,
I would
100.
say that this year is the year that people are going, enough is enough. Where we got to figure this out. No matter what we have to do to get creative, we got to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Same thing on the residential side. We're seeing a lot of agents just really adapt. I mean, I think there's been a lot of years for them to adapt, right? Realistically,
Mhm.
with just how the market's been, but that's what it really has been, just adapting and just there's always people that are looking to make moves, and that's the reality.
Yeah.
Um, from from all the major corporate and industrial expansion that's happening here in Arizona, how do developments at that scale influence the commercial real estate landscape overall? And why should everyone be paying attention to these type of moves?
Well, to your point, we had a lot of booms, right? In those last couple of years, let's call them COVID years, where construction and real estate was just popping. It's a lot of people's best years, um, leading into the space that we're currently in. We had a lot of industrial come to market, a lot of square footage delivered at the exact same time. So where there was this huge need, the need was met in a big way. So it kind of slowed down the progress there as one example. Another example just being major expansions of a TSMC, the Intel, you know what I mean? All these things that they have this ripple effect that are so big, there is something our market has never seen.
Right.
So whereas other markets, you're starting to see a lot of, like ours included, a lot of multifamily is a little overbuilt at the moment because of how it delivered and when it delivered. Ultimately, we still need more. It was just kind of how it came to market and where, right? So you got these North Phoenix big pockets of multifamily delivering, and that's slower to lease up, right? So now it's the competition of concessions. Who's giving 3 months away? How does that pencil? How does that affect the next project? So if they're not fully leased here, they're not going to build there. But the upside of that conversation is Arizona has done a phenomenal job as of late to really diversify our local economy. So
Mhm.
whereas being a native here, you had some larger companies that people worked at Motorola, people worked at Intel, but you didn't have as many large scale operations in totally different sectors, right? Super easy to
Right.
pick on TSMC because it's so new to us and it's so rapid and it's so big and
Massive.
supply chain is real, right?
Right.
So what does that do? How does that change healthcare? So I was with one of my healthcare developers recently. This never even occurred to me. So we have a lot of Asian influence moving into Phoenix where we haven't seen that before. So how does a healthcare provider mix Eastern and Western medicine in what they offer? Right? It's all
Yeah.
these changes and shifts and what does our demand look like that, the 10 dudes that developed Phoenix through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, those 10 dudes are still playing the game. They're still in the development world, but now there's 150 new people really investing in our marketplace and new money coming into the state of Arizona that's not the same OGs that were here. And we can predict what they're going to do. It's
Right.
Chicago money, it's Texas money, it's a whole new set of investors.
No, that's a great point. My wife is a teacher, and things that you don't think about is with all we live on the west side, and with all the infrastructure and just all residential manufacturer built new builds. I mean, you don't think about these things, but like schools are huge, and how are they gonna, start landscaping that out because there's obviously like a teacher shortage and stuff like that. Just kind of like some things like you're talking about when our state grows so fast, there's just so many things that you don't realistically think about.
Mhm.
Um, Understanding like these big projects and developments that are happening, usually we look at like housing as the first like important thing, the key factor with all of this. But what are some like other uh, key important things that are going to impact our market with all these like TSMC? You're talking about like some healthcare stuff. Like, what do you see that expansion looking like for our market?
I think we're gonna, I don't know that the TSMC landing here and launching, and I think there's more cranes on that site than maybe anywhere in the country, right? That's a massive, massive thing. And I don't know that we're going to see another huge infrastructure thing like that. We're just going to grow into that, right?
Right.
And all that those types of opportunities become. This is kind of the season of economic updates. You can find one anywhere. They're on every corner, they're on every webinar, and it usually starts with a housing forecast. And these
Right.
economists are brilliant, but the last three I've listened to, I haven't I haven't had a key takeaway. I mean, we're still struggling with inflation. We're still struggling with the Fed and the tariffs and not knowing how to manage inflation as a result of all these things. So it's kind of like I'm not hearing any new news that most people don't already know.
Right.
I really truly think that the creative people these last couple of years have converted really cool things, right? You've seen all these buildings get really creative, and those square footages where a Mountain America Credit Union can go in and take over what used to be, or a surgery center can take over a Panera, or these creative footprints have kind of been gobbled up too. So I really feel like the land brokers are doing a phenomenal job of having those land price conversations and or corrections. Something's got to give. You can't have land cost here, interest rates here, construction costs here. Nothing can pencil. So if something needs to get done, there's got to be some give and take. And I do feel like the land guys are doing, like guys and gals are doing a really good job of having those harder conversations with their clients and moving a needle because some things that there's only needles that can be moved, right?
Yeah.
The bank can only loan on a certain rate, and construction cost is a cost of doing business with tariffs that are very real.
Yeah, and I can agree with you. I try to listen into, Housing Wire podcasts. Like there's just so many different there's just so much information out there, right, that we can just listen to and kind of either get educated on or try to feel ahead of the competition. And I feel like nothing's really giving, but the one thing that we can do is kind of understand where we're headed and kind of predict on where we'll be. Do you have like any bold predictions for this year or maybe the next few years just for our this doesn't even have to be commercial related, but just like for our marketplace, like what do you think is going to happen? I know we don't hold a crystal ball, but I'm just curious because with your experience, I think you can't take it without any notes, you know?
I think we're really, really sick of talking about water, but it's still real. It's still a
Mm,
real barrier to progress. And we've got to figure it out. Smart people are doing smart things, and we just have to figure it out. Bottom line, we can't grow without water and power, and data centers are fighting over the power, and land developers are fighting over the water. So we've got to get to the bottom of that. But what I think we're going to see, which actually really excites me again as a native, is I think we're going to start to see way cooler infill projects. I think these really cool, half acre, 2 acre lots sitting in the middle of town are not going to just be looked over. I think they're gonna see a lot more creative developers going, what can I do with that little tiny opportunity right there that normally they weren't gonna look at anything under 5 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres. I think we're gonna start to see some urbanization of infill, because those guys are still cranking. When I say guys, I mean guys and gals. And actually, the one I'm thinking of is a female-owned company. They're still really cranking, in they found a way to control their construction costs. And a lot of these developers that are doing their own thing and they're still moving, they're doing their own construction. And that's kind of the consistent I've seen, because they can control those costs a little bit better and
right.
know what they're getting into. That half of it's just what does it cost today versus what it's going to cost when I need it. And that uncertainty is real.
Hmm.
But my bold prediction is I think we're going to start to see our traditional sprawling city turn into more of an urbanization with some of those infills specifically for small scale multifamily developments.
And you brought it up like a lot of national businesses are starting to just relocate to Phoenix. What do you think Arizona is doing really well? Whether it's infrastructure, policy, workforce, like what's drawing this level of investment opportunity compared to other states? I know Texas is one of them as well, but like, why Phoenix?
I think, or city by city, you got to think if you're not from Arizona and you look at Phoenix Metro, you're looking at a map and you see these massive cities to your east, and then you see 13 cities to your west. And that's overwhelming because you need to come in and you need to navigate zoning, planning, rezone, cities, relationships, permitting processes. You need to have those relationships, and you know that. And showing like all these really, it's overwhelming, right? You go in here and I'm not going to just, call the Dallas economic team. We have Goodyear, Surprise, El Mirage, Phoenix. But, so I think the East Valley gets a little bit more love out of the gate from new players because it's a little bit less overwhelming from the relationship building standpoint. But what I think Arizona's done a really, really good job of, I think GPEC kicks ass. I think they do such a good job of selling our city. And then I think Westmark has done a phenomenal job of really representing the West Valley to stop making that map environment so overwhelming and go, hey, we can help you navigate the entire West Valley and all of those cities and all of those opportunities by kind of coming together and not competing with each other. So I think Arizona's been very pro development. I think our city economic teams have been a godsend to these developers that this is their gospel to me is no other markets I work in are this collaborative. Do we still have our permit pipeline issues and delays? Absolutely. But a lot came all at once. It was overwhelming for everybody. But I think ultimately it's diversifying our market, in all these different ways. And then also the just pro development open to pick up a phone, and the economic development teams truly are advocates to help these projects along.
Do you think do you think it's sustainable? Do you think all this is like sustainable long term? And is there like any repercussions if like Phoenix just grows too fast in taking on so much?
No, Michael, what could go
No?
wrong?
Okay. I don't
Just
Hey,
keep coming.
I thought no question was dumb, but I thought I'd ask you anyways. But no, yeah, it's crazy to think like there's just so
Yeah.
much happening and
Yeah.
it's exciting though for sure. Like if something goes sideways, we'll be the first to bounce back,
Well,
regardless of
I
what
do, and
anybody
our
says.
market has stabilized where Phoenix was traditionally the Midwest minded developers didn't love Phoenix because of the volatility, and they loved Phoenix because of the volatility. In
Mm,
these volatile swings, there's a lot to be made if you have the tummy for it. But these institutional developers are just going, these merchant builders are going, I don't know, I can take less risks in other places. But Phoenix has really leveled. We've not taken the big swings that we used to. The '08 when Phoenix and Vegas just got hit so unbelievably hard and the slowest to recover out of that. But we've done a really good job of coming into our own with a handful of really good leaders who stayed at the table and saw this thing through.
mm. From where you sit at, where are you seeing real momentum in like the commercial space right now that you think will give the most opportunity for um I don't know how do I want to say this? What like where do you believe opportunity is building before it becomes obvious to like the broader market, if that makes sense?
It totally does. I believe that the maturing debt is a part of this conversation. So you have all these loans that have been extended and extended and extended. And if you are the person who initiated this project X, right? And now, we underwrote it to do one thing and it's not doing that. The rent rates didn't go where they needed to go, or whatever happened in that process. But the bank has been phenomenal as far as saying, let's extend this out. All is right in the world. It's going to be okay. But we're on our third leg of extensions. And now these lenders need to be made whole and we need to really have a real conversation. And I think once that conversation happens for real, not extend, but it happens for real, and everybody knows where they lie, then the progress can begin again. But you're not going to go take Michael and you just developed my multifamily project, but it's not rented out the way I wanted it to. So right now, instead of Michael going and doing the next one like he would have done 5 years ago, Michael is still trying to work out this asset. So it's slowing everything down. You're not doing the next one. You're still trying to make this one whole. And once that happens, everybody in their respective asset classes can move forward. It's just my personal opinion, but I'm I do a lot of receivership work and a lot of distressed debt. So that's where my head is all day. I don't know if it's where everybody else is
Sure.
all day or if it's just what I'm too close to.
Probably sounds about right.
But you know what I
um
mean? You're not going to go take another big risk if you
right.
are a working American and you don't have a lot of job security, you're not going to go buy that next car. You're not going to go out to that dinner. So it kind of slows it down until there's some more certainty of the finances.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that there's a lot of agents on this call that just primarily work on the residential side, but are increasingly curious about the commercial space. Um, from timing and just the expectation standpoint, what's one key difference uh, in commercial deals that unfold in how commercial deals unfold that residential agents should understand earlier on?
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this question, Michael. I've never dabbled in the residential space. So take what I have to share is only understanding one side of this.
Sure.
But what I will say is one of the key differences that I've observed, residential agents, you guys work your butts off, right? You're in your car constantly. I have a ton of friends that are agents, and you guys are just on the phone, on the computer, in a car, working that deal, like working every angle of that deal, trying to see what's going to happen next and overcome it before it hits. And it's I would say a lot more chaotic is how it feels as an observer. It feels like there's so many more moving parts. The
Moves
emotions
fast.
seem to be
Yeah.
higher. Am I packing my kids up and moving them? Whereas in the commercial space, it's a long sales cycle. It's a long relationship building cycle. You're in the deal, but you're more in the human than the deal, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna spend a lot more time relationship building with the people on the other side of the table and understanding their business versus I need you to get this done in 30 days. The pressures are different. And
Right.
so the reaction is different, but one of the pieces of advice I would like to share is, and I've seen this happen a handful of times where a residential real estate agent is going to either partner with or represent a commercial opportunity. And I would say the biggest, where's my words? The thing that I wish was done differently is don't talk about the fee up front. Don't talk about the fee split. Call that commercial agent, talk about the deal, talk about your relationship that you have with the person that you're
The client.
representing. Be
Yeah.
honest with what you don't understand. I don't understand how we're going to go about this. I want to partner with you to learn, bring us both the opportunity, and fee last. And I've not seen that. It's been fee first, and that is just it rubs the brokers wrong.
Do you think, I mean, I knew commercial agents always had to, negotiate their compensation, but do you think like the news with the NAR settlement maybe reinforced like just the whole industry to like put that first? Does that make sense?
Possibly. I
Just kind
get.
of gave them like a fear, like, okay, we really need to get this pinpointed so that way we know we're making our money.
Yeah, no, and I get it. And we all eat what we kill, right? And it's important and it matters and it's real and it has a real impact. I
Hmm.
just if the goal is to one deal and you have no interest in actually making the jump over to the commercial space, you do you. But if you really want to start to build that relationship with that commercial broker, you've got to meet them where they're at. And just I know that that's a conversation piece that has to happen. It's necessary. Just don't lead with it is my advice.
Yeah, no, that's good. Um, I know you highlighted like relationships. We all know they're everything in this business, but that long-term relationship and just really diving deep and getting to know, your client's business. Can you just give like maybe an example of like one of your best clients that you served in the commercial space and like how that relationship developed?
Yeah, I would love. Oh, I like that one, Michael. The this one's a good one because this one hit personal and professional.
Nice.
So, developer in town, kind of a good old boy, Midwest, cut his teeth, learned every aspect of the business, owns a lot of real estate, a lot of big hotels, ones that you know here in town that are big and beautiful and make headlines. People that represent other title companies, I would watch their approach and I just don't have that approach. That very much like flashy, how can I wine and dine you faster and make you feel like the most specialist person in the whole world. And I just don't I believe in working hard to earn relationships, but letting things naturally evolve and not being hyper aggressive. And I just never was. We run in the same circles, but I let it come to me. And I let the opportunity him come to me and say, I just really appreciate you getting to know me before went in for the kill and asked for the business. Asking for the business matters, but letting that relationship cultivate naturally where my competitors were all doing the same things, I was doing something different. And fast forward to today, he'll be at my wedding next month out of the country. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So that matters because you can't fake building a relationship. It will be sensed. If you really want to build a relationship, you're really building it. Do you have to be personal friends with your clients? Yeah, no, you probably shouldn't. But I am.
It yeah, it happens to the
You
best of
know,
us.
it's just one of those things, I can't be perfect all the damn time. No, but it's just it builds relationship from a genuine place and genuine things will come as a result.
No, that's so good. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. I just want to ask you, kind of coming back to like the economic landscape of things, like what are some common indicators, maybe some like data points that you personally look look out towards and like pay close attention to on your side?
This is a weird one because like I said, I'm a data girl and I love data and I will nerd out like with the best of them from an economic standpoint. But
Yeah.
what I really look at are, the K recovery is real. Post-COVID, really wealthy people got exponentially wealthier and people that were struggling are struggling more today than ever. And where we really see things change isn't if the global ambassador has a full lobby, because the global ambassador audiences, they're going to have money inside, between, and out of these cycles. It's not an indicator to me. An
Right.
indicator to me is going to a part of town where the socioeconomics are challenged, and are there people still going to McDonald's? Are there people still going to Walmart? Because where those people now are having PB&Js and they can't, that's already a stretch. That's what I look for. That's the bulk of who we are as a society. That not the 1%ers doing 10% of the spending. I know that that's a real stat. I understand it. I respect it. But what is a true everyday American experiencing? And they are the consumer base of all of these developments. They're buying the shirt, they're buying the house, they're
Right.
if they can't, we can't.
That's really good. I never even really thought of it like that, honestly. Um, what indicator do you think is like overlooked from an agent's perspective, do you say? Is it the same one?
I think so. It's something in the realm of people want to own real estate, residential or commercial. We have a desire to own this. It's not a matter of, we don't have to sell the concept. It's, can they do it? Do they have the opportunity to do it? I think I read recently the median homeowner now is like in their 50s, where it was their 30s previous. It's like this is where the opportunity needs to exist. People want this. This is a way to build wealth. It's something to hand your children. We all want to. It's just, can we?
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully someone responds, but I want to open up for questions if anyone has anything. I know there's a few agents on here that have been trying to get into the commercial space or kind of dabbling here and there. And so if there's something that they want to throw out there, I would love for them to participate. But with one more question that I had on my mind today is um, if there's like one insight about commercial and just our economy in general, that you believe real estate professionals should understand, um, but it doesn't really get talked about much. What do you think that would be?
Understand capital stacks, no matter what you do. If
Capital
you
stats?
Capital stacks, how a
Yeah.
project is financed, understand
Okay.
bridge lending, understand long-term lending, understand short-term lending, podcast it, YouTube it, do whatever you have to do. Start to understand capital stacks. If you
Mm,
understand the money, you can back into almost anything, but you have to understand the finances.
that's really good advice. Thank you.
Mhm.
And let me see if there's anyone that. Nope. No one had their coffee today,
We're
apparently.
just that good. We answered it all.
And that's okay. So Stephanie's part of Landmark. She's a great resource to anyone that, just wants to get connected and plugged in. So, Stephanie, outside of Landmark, you run a podcast. How can people find you through that podcast?
It's thank you for asking. It's wisdom
Yeah.
in wealth, wisdom in wealth. And the point being, on our quest to find wealth, the wisdom is somewhere in the middle. And what I do is try to find those stories that people have, that are the struggles people have gone through that you would never expect,
Yeah.
are inspiring, and how they navigated them, how they pivoted, how nobody's career has to be linear. You can just keep pivoting until you're pirouetting through life.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, like I said, I listened to one episode, so I'll probably go back and
Who did
find
you listen
another
to?
one. I think it was just like the first one
Okay.
that was most recent.
John Orsak was first, and his was one of my favorite stories. But what I think you'll appreciate, being so online savvy, is I dug into the analytics with our marketing team recently, and there's some people on there that are really popular in our commercial real estate space. And the person that performed off the charts the best is an attorney who works his butt off, puts his head down, doesn't do a lot of public speaking. And he has a story about how he was a fisherman in Alaska and found his career. And it's just such a cool story. I'm like, Jerry, I didn't see you being our leader.
That's
It
so
was
cool.
fun.
That's so cool. Stephanie, any last thoughts or anything you'd like to say before we close out?
You are the best in the business. I'm so proud to be a part of the family that you're a part
Oh,
of. And thank you, thank you, thank you for letting me come on and talk with you.
of course. Thank you. Appreciate your time today. And this is exactly why we put on Make Your Mark here at Landmark. We truly believe that great closings are built long before signings, through preparation, through different perspectives, of course, and just clear understanding of what's going on in the market. And so our role here at Landmark is just to be a true partner in your business, whether that's helping you think outside the box with escrow and title needs, or just being there to provide value to you guys. So if you're currently working with Landmark, we'd or not currently working with Landmark, we would definitely love that opportunity to earn your next escrow and support you at any level that we can. I just want to thank you again so much for your time today, and we'll see you next week on Make Your Mark. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Michael.
Stephanie. I appreciate you so much. That
How
was
was
really
fun.
good.